In this video, we're going to be taking a look at an enhanced Easy Envelope function here in EasyStone. Now, I've been working on this for quite some time because there's a lot of various different scenarios where we might want to use Easy Envelope. And I want to kind of walk you through all the various different options and how it works. So to access Easy Envelope, we're going to click on the Font Manager button here on the main form, and we'll come over here to Text Effects. And the first thing we want to talk about is how this actually works. So we'll just use our first example. I want to enter a word here. So I'm going to first find a font that I know I want to use. So in this case, I want to use Times New Roman. So I would filter the existing fonts I have on my system until I find Times New Roman. I have that selected now. And then I'm going to come down here and I'm going to type in Eagles Football, for example. So there's Eagles Football. And then the type of envelope I want to apply is a vertical envelope. So then I'll choose Easy Envelope here. And you can see Eagles Football has been entered into my field here. Now, if I wanted to, I can also select multiple fields, and if I need Eagles Football to be in multiple fields for some reason, then I can do that as well. So now I have 4 placeholders selected, and I hit Easy Envelope, and now you can see Eagles Football has been applied to each of the selected. Now, there are other options. For example, in this case, I have 2 selections made. And I can come over here and I'm going to type in Eagles Football again. But this time I'm going to choose the top to bottom option. So there's my top to bottom option. I have that checked, and when I apply Easy Envelope, now you can see Eagles. The first word goes into the first box and the second word goes into the second box. And of course there is a left to right option too. So imagine if you had a template where we had a ball here in the middle and I wanted to enter a year, for example. Now I'm going to try a different font. Let's see here. I'm going to use the Collegiate Black FLF, and let's say I wanted to put in 2014. So I put in the space, and then we'll choose the left to right option. And then, of course, you can see there's 2014 in our template there. So we have a couple of different options that way. Now, what if you're creating some type of subway art, or you want to rotate the text? Well, then we do have some rotate options here. So here we have a vertical placeholder, and I want to type in Eagles, and we'll rotate the text because I know I want the text rotated. And when I hit Easy Envelope, you can see now our text is rotated. So it takes on that field. It just fits that field a little bit. So we do have the options to rotate in either direction if what we're working on would call for that. All right, so we have another option as well where we have what we call a drop cap option. So let's just copy these set of placeholders over here and look at the drop cap option. So again, if we type in the word Eagles and choose the drop cap option, then what's going to happen here in the first example, let me make a copy of this so we understand what's going to happen here. So again, let's go in and pick, I'm going to use Times New Roman. I love Times New Roman for this drop cap function. But then we'll go ahead and choose Easy Envelope. And you can see there we have the words Eagles. And we call it the drop cap because, you know, the first and last letters are bigger. Now, we could also type in Eagles Football. So I just want to show you what happens when we do that and use the drop cap option. What's going to happen then, of course, is the first letter in our entire word, which in this case is Eagles Football, and the last letter in the entire word. Everything in between, even though there's 2 words, everything in between goes in the middle shape. So that we have that option too. Now we also have some additional options. We've tried to figure out every which way you might want to use this particular function and get them all in here. So this is a little bit different setup where we have some objects already in our document So let's take a look at this. So we have some objects already in our document. So if we don't specify anything here in the text field, then what it's going to do, it's going to look for something that we already have selected here in our document. So in this case, I have a placeholder, and I have eagles, and I have just some little rectangles here. Now here's the point I want to make. When you're using the text field, these placeholders need to be what in CorelDRAW what we call a closed shape. So just a basic shape, can be any shape, but it does need to be a closed shape when you're using the text option here. But it doesn't need to be named anything special. Now in this case, this shape is named something special. And the way we name something special, in fact, if I want to just draw out a rectangle, you'll see what I mean here. In fact, maybe what I'll do is I'll make a couple of duplicates. So we have, you can see it just says rectangle on layer 1, rectangle on layer 1. If I select those two rectangles and hit this button next to Easy Envelope, then you can see it says Easy Placeholder, Easy Placeholder. So that's how we make a specific placeholder. Now the reason that we need a specific placeholder when we don't enter text in this box is for this next scenario, where we have text objects and other different things, and we want to apply those into a shape. This would tell EasyStone what is a placeholder and what isn't. So when I select this, in fact, I could select, let's show you a couple of scenarios. I'll first start here with just the shapes and our placeholder, and we'll go ahead and apply it, and so you can see what it's done there. Or I could select multiple shapes, and then you can see it applies it to everything. So those are all the different options that are available to us here in Easy Envelope, and I think you'll find this to be a welcome addition. These are common text effects that we're going to do time and time again, and so having all these options available to us, we can enter text and pick our font, or if we don't want to enter text and pick our font, and I should point out too, I don't know that it really matters, but I should point out one other thing that I think will be kind of useful and important to you. Now, here inside our font manager, when we select a particular font, we don't know what the font looks like. Now, most of us work with particular fonts all the time, and so we don't actually need to see what the font looks like before it's applied. But there are times where we want a particular effect. If we don't select something here in our font selection, but we do enter in a value here, so let's go ahead and enter a value there. What we can do is we can select here. We can get a little preview of what these fonts look like. So I'm going to use Billy the Kid, for example, and it asks us when we select a font. This is the default thing that CorelDRAW asks us, and we want to check artistic text and paragraph text most of the time. And we go ahead and click OK. And so now, because I didn't enter in a particular font, I didn't select a font from the list, but I do have text entered, when I hit Easy Envelope, it will use that Billy the Kid font. So if you want to search for a particular font style, we would select it here. Maybe we want to use Ballpark, for example. Okay, so we're always going to choose this option of artistic text when we select our font, and then if I come in here and we type in Eagles and choose Easy Envelope, then you can see it uses the default font that we just changed, which was Ballpark. Or we could have just searched it here and selected it from this list of available fonts on our computer. So lots of different types of functionality, and I think you're really going to find this particular function quite useful and be able to use it in lots of different applications. Thanks for watching.